Hi, and welcome to the Women's Handbook podcast, How to Be a Woman, where we talk about everything women's health with real advice for real women at every stage, from menarche to matriarchy. I'm your host, Dr. Natalie Hutchins, and today we're talking to health coach Tobey Hill. She's got the most amazing story about using lifestyle medicine to transform her health. And she talks about changes she made to her diet, her mindset, the way she tackled her perfectionism. And I was really personally inspired by her story. I'll admit I did have some reservations about sharing her story because I wouldn't want anyone to interpret this as a call to just drop their conventional medicine. It is absolutely not one of those stories. Tobey did this while she was seeing her doctor. She was still engaging with him, continuing to receive traditional medicine, having all the follow-ups and all the biopsies. It's just that she used lifestyle alongside all of this. But it is a really powerful reminder that how we live our lives can have such a profound impact on our health. And as I said, I was really personally inspired by just how dogged she was with her belief that she could take control of her health. And she was so determined to turn her health around, and she did. So I wanted you to hear it too. So let's get started. Hi, Tobey. How are you?
I'm great, Natalie. It's great to be here.
Thank you so much for joining me. I'm just really pleased that all our listeners get to hear your story and be just as blown away as I was when I first heard it.
Thanks.
So Tobey and I actually met a while ago, didn't we? A couple of months ago, and I'd hit a bit of a roadblock with my own health. And I was looking for kind of just a new way to approach it, really. And so we ended up calling your clinic, Chi Longevity, and we had an introductory call. And I just remember being so completely taken with you and your story. So would you mind just telling everyone a little bit about you and your health journey?
Yeah, sure. When I was about 31, I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease. It was autoimmune hepatitis. At the time, it was unexpected, even though I was doing so much.
Yeah.
So at the time, I had just had my second child. She was almost 1, and I had a son who was almost 3 when I was diagnosed. I was finishing law school and working. So I had a lot going on. And I always took for granted that I could just do a lot. And it didn't occur to me that getting tired and being fatigued had to do with some type of illness. It just had to do with, hey, I have a lot on my plate. I'm trying to juggle a new young family along with working, and law school at night is similar to doing your 3-year UK undergrad. It's the same.
Right.
So I was doing 4 years at night of law school while I was working. When I was diagnosed, my husband actually carried me into the hospital. I was fully yellow, and it was the second or third time that I turned yellow.
Right.
And I had been dismissed a bit as you're doing too much. It's fatigue. You need to rest. Stop doing so much. But when he carried me in, they did a biopsy on my liver, and that's when they said, you've actually had this for 15 years.
Goodness.
And my liver was so severely scarred, I was almost in cirrhosis.
Goodness.
So I went to a hepatologist, a very premier hepatologist at Columbia Presbyterian, who said, you have autoimmune hepatitis and you can live with it and you'll be fine, but you'll be on steroids and steroid-sparing drugs the rest of your life. And ultimately osteoporosis drugs and other things just so you can maintain your health. But you're going to live great.
You're
So
going to live.
I'm going to live. I'm going to have this life. At the time, it was really not an option for me to go down that route.
Right.
My sister, who's a couple years older than me, was diagnosed with lupus nephritis and lupus SLE when she was 19.
Goodness, okay.
So she had been on steroids for over a decade, and I saw the toll it was taking on her. So for me, it was be on steroids the rest of my life, take a path like my sister.
Yes.
Or take control. And I had already been, I don't want to say I knew too much about it, but in traditional Chinese medicine, I had my first exposure to acupuncture and TCM.
Right.
And I really embraced how food really affects your body and your energy. So to do macrobiotics was just the next logical step.
Okay. Because when people say macrobiotics, I just think of Gwyneth Paltrow. I don't know anything else about it. So what is it?
Yeah, macrobiotics is, it's known as a diet, but it's actually a lifestyle.
Right.
And what it's about is about living more in harmony with nature.
Right.
So talking about eating foods that grow around you, grown locally, eating whole foods. So there's no processed foods, there's no sugar, there's no dairy, no animal products. If you're healthy, you could have some fish. But it's not just about the diet, it's about eating habits.
Right.
It's about lifestyle, so doing things like body scrub and Douyin, which is a form of self-massage, not dissimilar to some of the Tai Chi tapping that you do.
Okay, yeah.
But also just energy. You know, so it's really about putting energy into food, having positive emotions when you're cooking. It's
so like a mindset.
It really is.
So how did you're there, you're a mother of two
at the time.
Two
now
tiny
3.
babies. You're doing law school, you're working, and I imagine that the macrobiotic lifestyle, you say it's a lifestyle, and it's about cooking from scratch and taking from time. How did you do that? Like, how did you find the time? Did you just drop everything? Did you just say, right, no more law school, no more working? What did you do?
Yeah, it wasn't that.
Okay.
I am an all or nothing at the time. It was really about an all or nothing thing. I mean, I have 2 babies.
Yeah.
I have a life ahead of me. And I know what I want that life to look like. And I don't want it to be dependent on medicine. So to make these changes, it was really will.
Yeah.
It was one day I was eating, I didn't eat standard American diet, really like a healthy version of it, I guess.
Yeah.
It was like one day I was eating that. The next day I was literally eating
100%.
100%.
Wow.
It was really that big of a change for me. I know that's not for everybody.
Yes.
I don't want your your listeners to think I coach like that.
Yeah.
I think that for me at the time it was a great need for me to just go all in, because I have these babies, like these babies at home, and I don't want them to be suffering.
Yes.
I have a wonderful husband. He was so supportive around it. And yes, I had to learn how to cook.
Amazing.
So I took lessons. I went down to Philadelphia to the Strengthening Health Institute, took a weekend course, learned how to cook, got things from my friend and his mother, who also helped when he was curing his illness. So I had a lot of resources, and I want to say I had help, from my family. And I did go back to work. I mean, when I was diagnosed, I had just finished law school, just finished taking the bar exams for 2 places. And I worked so hard.
You didn't want to let that go.
To get all of these things. Yeah. It's, it's one of the things, balancing as a woman, right?
Totally.
You're a mother, you're at home, you're a wife.
Yeah.
You have all these things to do. So getting up really early in the morning, but when you're macrobiotic, you don't sleep that long. I mean, 5 hours.
Right.
And it was like I was the Energizer Bunny, like up and about.
And is that still the case? You only sleep 5 hours?
No, okay. Back then I was purely macrobiotic. I'm not now.
Okay.
But yes, back then, it was.
Wow.
I was up at 3:30, 4 in the morning. It was really bizarre, but I'd have to cook. It took a long time to cook. I would go to work very early because I had experience in my area, which is tax law. I had some flexibility to go in early and leave early, which was wonderful. But it did take a toll. I did end up getting sick because my immunity was down.
Right.
So while I was curing my liver disease, I ended up low immunity. I picked up pneumonia.
Right.
I ended up in the hospital, and my husband was like, you need to slow down.
Yeah.
And so I did. I did slow down and said, okay, I'm taking a break, but I'm not going to stop. But during that time was amazing because I got to then get my full macrobiotic certification.
Right. Okay.
So it was a year-long course, once a month studies down in Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
And I was mentioning before, you know, some of the things were very in line with where I was ready to embrace. I was ready to embrace the cooking. I was ready to embrace the shiatsu and the body work.
Yes.
The spiritual side
Not
was
so
a little
much.
harder.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
what was
hard
the
when
barrier
chatter.
to that, do you think?
It was, I guess a little bit of judgment, a
Yeah.
little bit of like, yeah, this is kind of kooky, you know, for me.
Yeah.
I'm not ready for this.
Yeah.
So a little bit of judgment for sure. I think the diet's working fine. I'm
Yeah.
doing well.
Yeah.
You know, I don't need to change that. I'm doing the things I need to do. And I think the biggest thing was that I just didn't recognize that it was my inner voice that was kind of pushing that away.
Right.
And in the context of macrobiotics, it wasn't about mindfulness per se,
Yeah.
as you might learn with a meditation teacher and a mindfulness course. And it wasn't about learning about your inner critic,
Right.
as you might with working with a coach or with working with someone else.
Yeah.
So it wasn't about, notice your thoughts and your inner voice. It was really just, let's just do this. And
Yeah.
I wasn't quite ready.
Yeah. And tell us about the meditation then. So there are many types of meditation, I understand. So I do one that's kind of a mantra meditation, but I know there are many types. What kind of types do you do as part of your macrobiotic lifestyle?
Yeah. So as part of macrobiotics, it wasn't anything specific.
Okay.
Right. I couldn't really tell you. It was honestly less about meditation and more about attention.
Okay.
So really was a way of mindfulness. It was like when you're cooking, your energy's going in and you're mindful of your energy. When you're doing your body scrub, you're mindful of doing it. So it was really more about meditative type activities in
Understood.
macrobiotics.
Yeah.
I didn't recognize it for that at the time because it wasn't posed at the time. Whereas now I recognize that this is what it is.
Yeah.
Again, I really, it's really interesting how things work in your life. You know, what I was ready for at the time with macrobiotics
Was the food.
was the food.
Yeah.
It really was about, I can have control over my physical health. I can learn what makes my body function well in a healthy way that brings me to this place that I'm full of energy.
Absolutely.
Right. And that's what it did for me. And within 3 years, and it probably was sooner, I had a second liver biopsy and my liver, which was so severely scarred, I was almost in cirrhosis, was perfect.
It's just truly unbelievable that. And you're sitting there and so you still engage with your healthcare providers. You were still going for follow-ups and still having your conventional treatment. So what did they make of it? Did you actually talk to them about it? Did you say, oh, by the way, I'm just doing this diet on the side? Or did you just keep it quiet?
Yeah, it wasn't received well.
No. Okay. So how was it? I mean, I think these days it might be received better now that we've got this whole, lifestyle medicine societies all over the world now. But I think certainly back then it must have come as a bit of a, ooh.
It's an interesting thing, right? Because, and you know this as a doctor, there's so many specialties. And I was with a hepatologist. And so he was focused on my liver and he was the top of his field. And I have tons of respect for him. I'm sure when he went to medical school, it wasn't about food that affects liver, maybe alcohol, maybe, some bad foods, so to speak. But it wasn't about food that supports your body. I still think that it depends now on which providers you're going to and how open-minded they are.
I completely agree.
How much they collaborate with others, right? And where they want to be. He did not receive it well. He said, you're going to be back and you're going to be on steroids and Imuran.
Right.
And I said, well, I don't want this. I did go on prednisone for a brief time, a way lower dose than he wanted, but I felt like it was a bit of a compromise.
Yeah.
And it was the right thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I still started the diet. And he was always, oh, wow, this is interesting, right? but never
wanted to go deeper.
Never wanted to go deeper.
Yeah.
And my daughter's in medical school in London. And I think it's great that they're really focusing on more things. And like, for example, she already had something on menopause and perimenopause.
Yeah.
And that was in her first year, and she's in her second year now.
Yeah.
So it's nice that
things
there
are moving
is a
forward.
shift towards these things.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so just hearing your story, I mean, I know, having tried to change my lifestyle for my endometriosis, that when I hear your story, all I can think of, wow, this woman is disciplined and she is determined, because changing your lifestyle and maintaining that is so difficult. And, you know, the number of times you would have had to go out and, you know, say, oh, no, I can't do that, or, you know, turn down an invitation, or kind of suck up the eye rolls when people are like, oh, she's so fussy, you know, that type of thing, where people just don't understand. And actually, I think it can be quite confronting for people when you're changing your lifestyle and they haven't yet, and they feel like you're judging them a little bit. So how do you feel like your mindset, your personality traits have helped you harness lifestyle?
Macrobiotics was very hard, and it's not something that I recommend to my health coaching clients to do, because it is very hard and it is a bit of all or nothing.
Okay.
It's something that was very useful and necessary, and because of my discipline, because of my personality, because of the resources and support that I had at home, it was possible.
Yes.
So I think it really does depend, like, in terms of that. My personality would be, I want to achieve. You know, I have like this, I want to achieve, I want to reach the goal. So it was okay for me to not go out to eat. I was living in New Jersey at the time, very close to New York City. Very fortunate that there were macrobiotic restaurants in New York City. Nobody wanted to go with me, but that's fine.
Yeah.
You didn't go out to eat. If we went to friends' houses, I brought my little thermoses of food with me.
Yeah.
And it didn't bother me so much to do that, but I can see where it did. And it's a balance. And when I think about my life now, my life is about gaining balance. It's not about doing things perfect.
Yeah.
And I think many people, men and women, it's like we strive for this particular goal and perfection. But in actuality, it's progress.
Yeah.
And progress is a wavy line. Progress goes up and down. And it's about balance for the person that you want to be overall.
Absolutely.
And what works for you as a person. So it doesn't have to be all or nothing. It can be something small. And we've talked about this, you and I. I mean, mindset is the main thing.
Absolutely.
And for stepping back to like my time in macrobiotics, I wasn't ready for that.
Yes.
I didn't recognize that this inner voice, this inner critic was what was holding me back.
Yeah.
And once I got into a place where I'm now, it's only been 4 or 5 years, life-changing, you know, to be a regular meditator, to be aware, to notice my thoughts, all of that. I think that's a change to make that is really the catalyst for all other changes.
Yeah.
Because it makes it easy, because it's like, oh, you know, I can do this.
Absolutely.
You know, and it's the negative thoughts you can counter. You can change your thoughts. You don't have to believe your thoughts.
Yeah.
So it just makes it easy.
Yeah. So it sounds like you're someone who was a perfectionist, that always strived to do things absolutely just so. And now you've kind of loosened a bit. Would that be right?
Definitely. Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, having children.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Yeah, funny story. I used to count the Legos, like those big block Legos, to make sure they were all there at the end of the day. Like,
color coded?
They were all different colors. It was like, are they all here? Like,
okay.
Why?
Okay.
But like, you know, just to make sure that everything was neat, clean, in its place, you know, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah, that lasted.
That will exhaust you.
That lasted for like, you know, it actually did last for like a month. I mean,
right,
it lasted,
a month is pretty good.
It lasted way longer than
it should have.
Absolutely. but it was, that perfectionist thing about like the house needs to be clean all the time. I mean, you could name it, you have to do this at work. You have to show up. You have to be dressed well. You have your makeup on and be all ready for work in the morning. But before you do that, you have to have the kids, ready, drop them at daycare and make sure the house is clean and then make sure you have something out for dinner. It was just like so many different things that had to get done. And it was when you weren't perfect at them, that was like a stress. You did it wrong.
Yeah.
You're not good enough. Yeah. You failed.
And how do you think that personality trait impacted on your illness?
It was a big impact. I think that it's, and I think that you hear a lot about, stress affects your body, stress affects it. When I think about myself and how the big changes I've made for myself, it's been around noticing my inner voice, noticing my thoughts. Yeah. And then it gives me a chance to allow myself, do I want to believe what's going on in there?
Absolutely.
Or do I want to change the narrative? Yeah. And if you're kind of on autopilot, which so many of us are, and I was on for years, autopilot, there was no time to be aware of the thoughts.
Absolutely.
And it was they just kept coming.
Yeah.
And what meditation did for me is it made me aware. Okay. And I think that's what I communicate to my clients, to literally anyone who wants to hear about it. It makes you aware.
Yeah, and that awareness has led you to be able to change your perfectionism and lead you to kind of take things as they come a little bit more.
Absolutely, because it's about letting go.
Absolutely.
It's
letting go of control.
Letting go of control and letting go of attachment, right? There's so many things that are out of our control. Yeah. We can try so hard to do something and to have an outcome that we really want. Yeah. And we can, I'll give an example, a job interview, right? Like you could go in there and you can kill the job interview, but there might be a candidate
who's just better.
That's just a little bit better or ticks a different box. It's out of your control, but maybe you're so attached to that outcome of getting the job that it's just devastating, right? Yeah. And you just don't know. There's things that are out of your control, and it's like you did your best. Okay, let's move on. Yeah. And sometimes that's easy. Sometimes it's really, really hard.
Absolutely.
Really
hard.
And
it depends what the stakes are, isn't it? Because sometimes I feel like when we have conversations about these wholesale lifestyle changes, they're great and obviously they're so effective and powerful, but sometimes I feel the conversations can be a bit exclusive. So you mentioned it, that you feel privileged to have been able to take this time and to be in a position in your life where you had a safety net that you could give up your job. But I'm sure there are so many women out there who know that their health is impacted, their job is impacted on their health, but they can't. They're the breadwinner. Like you said, they've got so much going on. They're looking after children. They might be looking after elderly parents. They're trying to look after themselves a little bit, and they just go, I would love to give up my job, but I just can't. What do you say to those women who are just kind of full to bursting, ready to explode? They don't have the time. They know something needs to change, but they can't.
The answer is it depends.
Yeah.
First of all, because everybody's different. I think it's hard to put even people that are generally in that category. Everyone has their own unique circumstances.
Absolutely.
I think also that everyone can make time. I think that one of the things that's said a lot is, I have no time, or I'm so busy, and it's become this badge of honor. And actually, making time for yourself should be a priority.
Absolutely.
And we have all these other shoulds in our life that we're just so ready to should ourselves on. Yeah. But the self-care and the time for that is.
And I think for women in particular, because we are so often in the caring role, that's just so at the forefront. We're looking after absolutely everyone else, and then we're right down there.
Yeah, so to answer your question though, it does go back to meditation and awareness.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many things you can do, right? I mean, if it's a struggle around food or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
yes, there's probably low-hanging fruit and things you can do easily within the means of such a woman that you said.
Yeah.
But it's really around her thinking around the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Being stressed out at work, or being stressed out about all that you have to do. It's like stopping and taking the time to notice, what's really happening. We tend to ruminate.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We tend to worry about the future.
Yeah.
So we're spending so much time in our head ruminating about things that happened.
Yeah.
Right? And when it's out of our hands, it should be out of our head.
Mm-hmm.
And then we worry about the things that are happening. So with those women that are really struggling, it's, can you find 5 minutes in a day? Maybe you start with 1 minute in a day to start becoming aware and noticing your thoughts.
Yeah.
And that is really a path to changing the game.
Right.
Because once you're present, you realize there's, you're safe, right? And you have power.
Yes.
And I think that's something that we don't realize because we keep giving up our power.
Yes.
Because we're comparing or we're, what do they think? Or they thought this or whatever. We're giving up our power.
Yeah.
But once you stop and you're like, I'm present, we stop interpreting the situation and we just be.
Yes.
Things become easier and then you can handle things a bit differently.
And is that how you kind of reframe meditation for women? Because I think there'll be a lot of women who's like, I can't do it. I used to be like that. I can't do it. I can't sit for 10 minutes. My brain will be racing. It will make me feel more stressed because I can't stop the thoughts. So I'm interested, is that how you do it? Is that how you reframe it for them?
That was me, for 40 something plus years.
Yeah.
I remember, early in my career, it was, you really, you should meditate, and it was, you'd be much calmer. You're very excited, you get excited about these things.
Yeah.
You'd be so much calmer if you meditate. And I'm like, okay, started it. And this is not even that long ago. I want to say 15 years ago. Headspace was around.
Yeah.
So I would take the little, and I'm like, oh, look, 3 minutes. There's 3-minute meditations. Okay, I could do 3 minutes. And I would do the 3 minutes and the voice would say, like, sit, relax comfortably, put your hands on your lap, and now breathe. And notice your thoughts go by like clouds in the sky. And I'd be like, what is this guy talking about? Like thoughts like clouds in the sky. And so then I'm just sitting there judging the narration.
Judging the voice.
And going like, I don't even know what that means.
Yeah.
Like, because then when I have a thought, I'm in the thought.
Yeah, totally. This is what I used to be like.
Then the meditation would end while I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And then the voice would say like, how do you feel? Notice
Annoyed.
how you feel. And I'm just like, I just wasted 3 minutes that I could have been doing this, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it was so frustrating. And I've tried things. I'm part of lean-in circles. And we did like Deepak Chopra's 21 days of gratitude. Gratitude. I talk about gratitude all day as well.
Yeah.
But this is, I liked the gratitude part. The meditation part was so painful.
Yeah.
I just couldn't sit. It was really hard. I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
So when I talk about meditation, it's I found the right person to explain it to me. That person was Joe Dispenza,
Right.
who is very well known in the field of visualization and healing and things like that.
Yeah.
So how I ended up with Joe Dispenza being a teacher of mine was that I did get sick again.
Right.
I didn't have autoimmune hepatitis again, but I thought I did.
Okay.
And it was really just, again, doing the things like you said. I'm working really hard, have to work, have these kids in school that I'm paying for and, all of the things around it. But I liked the role. I liked, being, a senior leader in the company. I liked, having kind of that prestige around, and I earned it. And it's like, oh, look at what I accomplished. It was good.
Yeah.
But I also I have to get my exercise in. I have to eat right. I'm mentoring and coaching women as well, like throughout this. I'm also in perimenopause. And it was a wild time.
It's a lot going on.
And I did get sick. And when I realized it wasn't the autoimmune disease again, which I was completely prepared to switch completely to macrobiotics, I saw my naturopath friend, and she's just like, you really need to do some visualization. You should look up Joe Dispenza.
Right.
So I looked up Joe Dispenza. He's like, oh, you'll like him because he has science behind it.
Right.
I'm like, oh, facts. Yay.
I can do that.
Facts. I like facts, right? Like macrobiotics was, again, a bit too woo-woo for me on that spiritual side at the time.
Yes.
I would have been more receptive to fact-driven, but I wasn't ready for it yet. I listened to Joe Dispenza. I bought his course, his intro course. I meditated about 2 45-minute to 1 hour sessions every day.
Wow.
For about 3 months.
Wow.
I was home. This was during COVID.
Okay.
I had left a toxic job, and so I was home, and I was figuring things out. And within about 2 weeks, my family noticed how much calmer I was.
Amazing.
And then within 3 months, I noticed. Of course, I was a bit harder on myself. Like, is this working? Am I connecting? But the thing that made it work for me is we are supposed to have thoughts.
Yes.
We are not going to be sitting in meditation and watch these thoughts just go by like clouds.
Yes.
You are going to have thoughts. Maybe you can get to a place where you can be the observer and observe the thoughts go by, but maybe you won't. Maybe you'll kind of get sucked into the thought for a little while.
Yeah.
How Joe Dispenza describes it is that we have an operating system. Fair. You operate like things that you started learning when you were a child, your beliefs, they've created these different wiring within you.
Yeah.
I had perfectionist wiring. I had the I'm not good enough wiring, etc.
Yeah.
I have to achieve those things. All of those are in there. This is what makes me worthy.
Yeah.
So I had all of these things in me, and these were my wiring. In order for me to change that, I need to disconnect from it. And how do I do that? Is by noticing my thoughts.
Okay.
So when you're meditating, you start out, you focus on your breath. You might focus on somebody's voice. You're going to have a thought. But then you realize, oh, I'm having a thought, or I'm thinking about this, but I'm supposed to be breathing, and you go back to your breath, or you go back to the narration. Every single time you do that, you're changing that wiring. You're changing that wiring in your brain, and you're kind of saying, "Whoa, but that's not the way that we're doing it." And it happened quickly for me.
Yeah.
As my family noticed, within a couple weeks, I was just so much calmer. Again, it took me a little longer to notice it, but when I sit and meditate now, I have some times where meditation is a great meditation session.
Yeah.
Where I feel like I'm very present.
Yes.
And I'm focused on my breath, etc. But there's sometimes where I'm just thinking. I mean, it's
just really hard.
It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
Yeah. Do you still do it, or do you give up on those ones?
Oh no, I keep going.
Keep going.
Yeah, I keep going. And it's when I come out of the meditation, I'm like, oh, well, that's what it was today. That's what it was this session. But I think you don't meditate to, and this was one of the lady's name is Emily Fletcher. She's a Mind Valley teacher. And she says, you don't practice meditation to get good at meditation.
Yeah.
Practice meditation to get good at life.
Yeah.
Right? So if you have a bad meditation, so what?
Yeah. And I think that's what some type A people, me included, is like, am I doing it right? How do I know I'm doing it right? Can someone give me a star? Can someone tell me I'm doing it right? I don't know. I don't feel anything. Am I doing it right? And that kind of, there's no feedback until you kind of, as you say, 3 months down the line, just start feeling, I actually feel a little bit, no one's going to come and say, that was a great session, Natalie. You did really well there. So yeah, I think that can be quite tricky for people as well.
Definitely. And I think to your point too, I went all in on this Joe Dispenza thing because I could. It was COVID and I wasn't working. So I was able to do that at the time.
Mm-hmm.
When I talk to my clients, it's about what they're able to do.
Mm-hmm.
So the hypothetical woman who's taking care of children and aging parents and has a job she can't give up.
Yeah.
It's what can you work in?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a few things, and again, some things are around what you're already doing.
Yeah.
Can you mindfully brush your teeth?
Okay.
Right? That's just being present.
Absolutely.
Instead of brushing your teeth going, okay, after I drop the kids off, I have to go do this. It's just, I'm taste the toothpaste. I feel the brush against my teeth. You know, it sounds a bit silly, but if you're brushing your teeth for 90 seconds a day, twice a day, that's 2 90-second sessions that you can be mindful in a way that's meditative and you're becoming aware. Can you do some breath work?
Yeah.
Can you do 4 conscious breaths?
Yes.
So to stimulate your parasympathetic nervous system, which is the rest and digest, opposite of the fight or flight. 4, 7, 8 breaths, 90 seconds to do 4 breaths, even faster if you count fast.
Right.
Right? We could all find 1 minute.
Absolutely.
And it's not me saying to you, if you were my client, I want you to do this. It's a conversation, and it's like a little bit of education and a bit of what can work for you and how can you start. Consistency is key.
Yes.
And when you start seeing the benefits, you'll be able to do more because you see how beneficial it is.
Yes.
And it might be not just doing a meditation or a breath work. Maybe it is something that's journaling or gratitude or something that is just getting you a bit out of your head. So then you can be.
So consistency is my Achilles heel, and I'm sure it's the Achilles heel for so many people. I mean, it's kind of easy of sorts to make the change. We know that through diets, people can lose weight. It's just keeping it like that that's the issue. So you said consistency is the key, but that is probably the most difficult thing to do. Life is difficult, ups and downs, stresses, strains, holidays, all sorts of things that can kind of impact on your ability to kind of really hone in on those lifestyle changes. So how do you support your patients to kind of be consistent, remain consistent? What types of things do you kind of talk to them about?
It is a little bit different for each person, of course.
Yeah.
As a health coach, I am there to help guide my clients. And I'm not there to, again, tell them what to do. So it's really about a conversation of where each of them is at and where they want to go.
Yeah. And
it depends on their levels of where they are at and what they are ready for. Everyone's ready for something different.
Yeah.
And I've had clients, through the medical practice I worked with, that they're not quite ready for any of it.
Yeah.
Right? They're more ready for doing the medical side, but not so much for the lifestyle.
Yeah.
In my own practice, it varies. There's people that are like all in on some things, but on others. So it's really, where are they at, and working with them to see what they can do.
Yeah.
Now, how do I do that as a health coach? Well, it's all about very, listening, asking very appropriate, open-ended questions to find out more about what they want. And how do I do that? Values and vision.
Yeah.
Values get to the core of who a person is.
Yeah.
It gets to the core of their meaning, purpose, and then you can take that into a vision. So if you have a vision of who you want to be in 6 months, 1 year, 5 years, 20 years, and you're here today, sedentary, and not, smoking, drinking, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
Miserable at your job, whatever it is. But you imagine yourself as, hiking Mount Everest or whatever it is,
in 20
right?
years' time,
It's okay, there's a gap there.
Yeah.
And this vision holds true to your values. So it's setting those longer term goals and short term goals. I think that's a big stretch on like where somebody might be, but just to make it a stark difference.
Yeah.
But it's really, where are they and how do they envision themselves to be? Because they have to have, each person has their own innate motivation.
Absolutely.
I'm not there to motivate my clients. Maybe I do. Maybe I provide accountability. Maybe I inspire. Maybe I do those things. But the intrinsic motivation that's within a person is what's going to drive them for consistency and change. And I'm there to help
find it.
Yeah. Help them find it, help them discover it. So that's it's about that. And then when it comes to consistency, it's around tiny habits.
Yeah.
So one of the scientists I like is this guy named BJ Fogg. He's a behavioral scientist, and he has a book called Tiny Habits. And his method is that motivation wanes.
Absolutely.
It's like you could have a really good day, bad sleep, and you're like motivation is completely gone.
Yeah.
So his thing is really, it's not about that. It's about an action and ability.
Okay.
So motivation, we're just going to put on the side, but the easier it is to do something, the more likely you're going to do something.
Right. Of course.
So it's about small. If I told one of my clients, I want you to meditate 45 minutes twice a day.
Not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
Yeah.
And it's let's talk about their day. What would work for you?
Yeah.
When you think about this, is this something you want to do?
Yeah.
Usually the answer is yes, I see the benefits, and we've done some exercises for them to recognize their thoughts and are they true? Are they believing them? Are they causing them stress? And emotions they don't want to feel. So the answer usually comes out to be, yes, I do. I want to become more aware of my thoughts. So then it's, what are you willing to do? And so is it 1 minute a day to start out with? Sure. Yeah. Is it 5? The idea behind it is I'm going to do 5 minutes 5 days a week, or I'm going to do 10 minutes 5 days a week and try for 1 minute on the weekends or something like that. And then you get started and it's like making sure that there's a prompt, the action that allows them to do that. So it is when I wake up, I will sit up and do this. Or after I brush my teeth, I will sit in a chair and do this meditation. It, again, different for every single person, what that looks like. Is it at night?
Yeah.
Is it at lunch? I mean, is it after they eat their lunch or before they eat their lunch, they do something that's short?
So essentially just working with them, with their lifestyle, and, working out when they can fit these things into their lives. And starting small is okay, but it's better to start small and stay consistent than it is not to do it at all.
Absolutely. Yeah. Again, going to BJ Fogg, it's celebrate your successes. Yeah. Your body likes success. Your mind likes success. Yeah. If you celebrate the successes, you're more likely to do it again, right? Yeah. So if you're successful at 1 minute a day for 7 days and you're celebrating that, your body's going to want to celebrate the success. Yeah. If you say I'm going to do 1 minute a day and you do 5 minutes a day,
great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But don't set yourself up for failure, because that's going to mean you're less likely to do it again.
Exactly. Yeah.
I just wanted to go back to you post-COVID. You've given up work. And do you remember you were talking about the fact that you had worked really hard to get through law school? You had a high-powered job. It had, lots of social cachet. How did it feel knowing that you had to give up? Intuitively, it was making you unwell. You had to give up. But all that work, all that kind of, that social standing, you were kind of giving up. Like, did the fact that you knew it was making your health better kind of make up for that kind of wrench of your kind of ego, I suppose it is, that when you're like, oh my God, I was this person and now I'm not?
It was a process. It was not easy, and it did not happen overnight.
Yeah.
I was looking for, and I actually had another job lined up, and that fell through. And I think that's what really pushed me to kind of like a bad place,
right,
in my head. It took a while. It's not something that was a switch for me. But what really inspired me to want to make the change was I've been at work and I've been seeing people like myself, high achieving women who are in their heads all the time. And many admit they're in their heads. Yeah. Some don't. And maybe it's a new thing that women admit they're in their heads, and that it's something they're working on. Yeah. But I think to start with women who are young, it would be so helpful to know the things that I know now, and to put them in a way that is relatable. Yeah. To be able to say, to do workshops and exercises around that. And I've done those. Yeah. To recognize the things that are holding you back in your self-limiting beliefs and in your thoughts. Yes. And how you can look at things differently. So that's where I was initially shifting. The shift was hard. And it was things that I worked with my coach.
Do you still find it hard? So you go to a party, someone says, oh, what do you do? And you can no longer say, I'm a lawyer, and they know exactly what that is. They know what your educational level is. They know everything. It's obvious. Do you still miss it?
If you asked me that about a year ago, I would have said yes. It's definitely a change that I'm now comfortable with. When people ask me what I do, I say I empower my clients to make powerful changes to their lives. Okay. I couldn't say that before as a corporate tax lawyer. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So it's given you a purpose. Amazing thing. Absolutely. To be able to say to people, oh, wow, tell me more about that. Right? So it's a very interesting conversation as opposed to, oh, I'm, such and such head of at, this bank. Yeah. But yes, it's been a bit of an up and down cycle. So it's not easy. And I've met other people that have switched to the wellness field. Some are health coaches that have switched from a corporate job, and they say the same things. It's not hard. So it is a bit of an up and down. It's not an easy thing, but I think I'm fully committed. Yeah. And I'm aware also, like when I was struggling with that question, what do you do? And not being able to answer this way. Yeah. I was aware that it's like, shut up. Yeah. Like everything's fine.
Absolutely. I'm happy. Yeah. I'm well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I was aware of it, but it was like, oh, I just want to say
absolutely. X, right? Well, it's an armor, isn't it? Yeah. It's just that's it. Done. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So you're a health coach, but I know that there'll be lots of people who are thinking, okay, she's described what she does. But where does that fit into kind of the traditional model of healthcare that we know? So everyone knows what a GP does, a specialist does, nurses, dietitians, but how do you fit into that kind of model?
With working with medical practitioners, so I support them. Okay. So I have my own company, and I see clients on my own, so it's a bit different. It's more like I described. We just kind of jump into whatever my clients want to accomplish. At the medical clinic, I work at Chi Longevity, and we are a healthy longevity evidence-based clinic. So we have a doctor, a dietitian, nurse, psychologist. We even have a personal trainer whose specialty is cognitive and physical training. Right. So how I work with the team is we do several assessments around each client, and the interventions always involve lifestyle. Right. They always involve diet. They always involve an exercise movement plan. There's always something around sleep, and stress is always mentioned. Yeah.
Do you get people who are quite surprised that they're coming to kind of a luxury longevity clinic, and then always their lifestyle is on the agenda? Do you get people who are like, well, no, I came for the good stuff.
Yeah, for the magic pill.
For the magic pill. I don't want this.
Yeah. I mean, it's I would say, because we do some education about our program beforehand. Yeah. The ones that wanted the magic pill or the IV NAD, drip, always, whatever it is, they don't end up coming to us because we're all about evidence-based and health span. And Are they surprised about lifestyle and how important it is? Yes.
Yeah.
I think, I say yes, some are. I mean, some are very, I read Peter T. I listen to him all the time.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
you have people that are very
switched on,
biohackers and switched on. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are some that are thought that a bit differently,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it's great. And I think that's why when I say I have clients that are, I don't want to say they're unwilling clients.
Mm-hmm. They're just not there yet.
They're just not there yet.
Yeah.
They're kind of at that, I'm not so sure if I want to change stage.
Because I think, for you and I, we both had chronic diseases. And so it's very easy to see where our motivation comes from for changing our lifestyles. But I think definitely for people who are being told they've got some abstract concept that's wrong with them, like, oh, your blood pressure's high, or your VO2 max isn't what it should be, and they're like, well, I feel fine, and you're saying, well, actually we need to make all these lifestyle changes. I think that can be quite a hard concept for people to kind of get their heads around. It
goes back to what are their values and vision, right? Where are the gaps? Is this something they want to do, or are they happy? I have a great example of a woman. She wasn't sleeping well. She goes, well, I want to improve my sleep. And I said, well, I'm looking at your data and you're going to bed at, 2 a.m, 3 a.m, 3-4 nights a week. And she's like, well, I go out. I'm like, what do you do when you go out? I drink, and it's like, okay. And so we had conversations, but in the end, going out with her friends and doing this was what was important to her. And so she didn't want to change because that's what mattered to her.
Yeah.
So I think it depends.
So if someone says to you, look, I love what you do. I love what you've got to offer. I love meeting with you because you're so inspiring. I'm just not there yet. So I'm not ready to give up my glass of wine a night. I'm not quite ready to exercise. I can do the mindful brushing my teeth, but actually there are habits which I know, that they are impacting my health, but I'm just not ready. But I still want to see you.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, in all honesty, I haven't been in a situation like that per se. The ones that I see on my own are coming to see me because they want to make changes. And the ones at the clinic, the ones that don't want to make changes just don't schedule appointments.
Right.
Despite the chasing.
Yeah.
So I think it depends, because if they're in a place where they're kind of leaning towards change, I'm very happy to work with them.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we're coming to the end of the podcast now, but thank you so much. I just wanted to do two things, so two staples of the podcast. So both sides of the clinic table, tell me in your routine something that you incorporate into your daily life and you probably would not miss ever.
Every morning for, it's definitely over 15 years, I drink a glass of warm lemon or lime water when I first wake up, before brushing teeth and everything, to hydrate and cleanse.
Okay.
If I don't have the lemon or lime, I drink just plain water. If I can't heat it up, I drink room temperature.
Yeah.
But that's something that's pretty much non-negotiable, and I've not missed a day. And the second thing, which is something that I really believe in, walking the talk.
Yeah.
At the end of my day, no matter what, when I lie down in bed, I do 4, 7, 8 breaths.
Oh, okay.
And it doesn't matter, like if I get home really late after a night out, or if it's a normal night, or if I don't want to do it and the voice is telling me, just, you don't need to do it.
Yeah.
I do it because it's literally, if I count fast, it's 1 minute.
I mean, even I can do this.
Yes, exactly. So it's been a non-negotiable thing. Sometimes I do more, sometimes I meditate, but I always do that.
Okay, great. Thank you. And you've already given us a book, so Tiny Habits. But have you got another one for the TWH Book Club?
I have a couple, but I'll do one is Stephen Chandler's Reinventing Yourself.
Yeah.
So it's more of a life coaching book.
Yeah.
But I love the way he puts it, because he talks about being the victim or being the owner.
Okay.
And then Stacey Sims' Roar.
Oh yes, that's a good one. I've read that one. Okay, great. Any passing last messages for the listeners?
Noticing your thoughts is key to changing your life and giving yourself the life you want.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Tobey, for coming in. It's been such a pleasure talking with you.
Yeah, thanks, Natalie. This was great.
Yeah.
It went by so fast.
I know, it really did. We ran out of time a little bit. Well, thank you very much. I'm Dr. Natalie Hutchins for the Women's Handbook.
The content of this podcast is for educational purposes only. It is not intended to replace the doctor-patient relationship, nor does it constitute personalised medical advice. If you are affected by any of the topics discussed, please speak to your doctor or a qualified healthcare professional.